I've got a source down in Arizona who has been hitting the border, Arizona and Mexico, and looking at what is really going on the ground down there. He captured these videos of people who are not from Mexico or Central America, photos and videos of people from all around the world coming to the U.S. southern border through Mexico. You want to become a member of the most powerful nation in the world? You book a flight to Mexico and you walk on through. And then you jump in a border patrol van and the rest is history. So my friend Marty, who captured these photos and videos, is going to join me and talk about the Russians and Georgians that he captured there, as well as other people from other nations that are not Central America. Before he jumps on, I want to catch you guys up because immigration is, again, a big topic today. And President Biden was asked about this issue with Ron Desantis sending migrants to Martha's Vineyard, which is the posh island off the coast of Massachusetts where rich people and powerful politicians go to vacation. 50 migrants showed up there. They were deported from the island the next day. Why would they be deported from that island? Why wouldn't the politicians who are all about bringing these migrants in and making them a part of America, why wouldn't they allow them to stay there as their neighbors? Biden was asked about this because now I guess DeSantis is threatening to send migrants to Delaware, where Biden is from. And Biden talked about his main issue here.
What's on my watch now is Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua. And the ability to send them back to those states is not rational. You could send them back and have them. We're working with Mexico and other countries to see if we can stop the flow. But that's the difference.
So he is bringing up these communist, oppressive countries, talking about, again, foreign nationals coming from places outside of Central America, and anyway, kind of diverting away from the real issue and making light of it and making jokes about, oh, DeSantis should come to Delaware too. It's a great place. Well, DeSantis had some strong words for Biden and his open border Democrats. Today, here's what DeSantis said.
So when Biden is flying these people all over the fruited plain in the middle of the night, I didn't hear a peep out of those people, okay? I didn't hear a peep. I haven't heard a peep about all the people that have been told by Biden you can just come in, and they're being abused by the cartels, they're drowning in the Rio Grande. You had 50 that died in some shed in Texas. I heard no outrage about any of that. I haven't heard outrage about all the fentanyl that's come across the border that's killing Americans in record numbers. I don't hear outrage about the criminal aliens that have gotten through and have then victimized people, not only in Florida, but all throughout the country. I didn't hear any outrage about that. The only thing I hear them getting upset about is you have 50 that end up in Martha's Vineyard. Then they get really upset. And I'm sorry. Those migrants were being treated horribly by Biden. They were hungry, homeless. They had no opportunity at all. The state of Florida, it was volunteer, offered transport to sanctuary jurisdictions because it's our view that, one, the border should be secured. And we want to have Biden reinstitute policies like Remain in Mexico and making sure that people aren't overwhelming.
That's true. Under Trump, when someone was captured at the border by Border Patrol, they would be sent right back to Mexico. They would have to remain in Mexico as an asylum seeker until they figured things out further. Now, the orders from Biden are just to release these people into America after crossing illegally. And that's why you're seeing this big jump. More developments. I'm going to get to this Russian and Georgian migrants in a sec with my live guest, but a new development on those Martha's Vineyard migrants. Now the Bexar County Sheriff out of Texas is investigating Ron DeSantis and others who cooperated in shipping those migrants up to Martha's Vineyard. Apparently the 50 migrants were located in Texas originally, in San Antonio. So the sheriff there in San Antonio, according to CNN, said today at a news conference, his understanding was that on Wednesday, a Venezuelan migrant was paid a fee to recruit 50 migrants from a resource center in San Antonio the county seat of Bexar County. Apparently, this sheriff is angry that this appears to be a political ploy at the sacrifice of these migrants who are just trying to have a better life. I don't know how true this all is, but here's what he has to say.
48 people that are already on hard times. They are here legally in our country at that point. They have every right to be where they are. And I believe that they were preyed upon. Somebody came from out of state, preyed upon these people, lured them with promises of a better life, which is what they were absolutely looking for, and with the knowledge that they were going to cling to whatever hope they could be offered for a better life, to just be exploited and hoodwinked into making this trip to Florida and then onward to Martha's Vineyard for what I believe to be nothing more than political posturing to make a point. When you're playing with human lives of people that are already in a desperate situation, people that, again, had every right to be where they were, but were lured under false pretenses, that does tend to bother me quite a bit. Political affiliation has nothing to do with it. It's doing the right thing. Traveling from another state to prey upon people that are just already in a desperate situation and then dumping them off at the risk of life and limb to them and to their children, that's a no-go for me, no matter what
dumping them off. I mean, they got dumped off in the nicest part of America, posh Martha's Vineyard. Okay, so before we get to Marty, and he is going to talk about, there's even Middle Eastern people he's seeing coming across the southern border from Mexico, people from all over. What is going on, and is this a threat to our national security? Before we jump any further into it, shout out to the sponsor of my coverage. Are you ready for the blackout day? If you're not familiar with it, you should be. The federal regulators of U.S. electricity believe a colossal terrorist attack capable of completely wiping out our power grid and sending us back into a dark age could happen at any moment. They've dubbed this attack Blackout Day. When Blackout Day occurs, steps can be taken within 30 minutes. These steps are outlined in detail throughout this free video. It provides you with step-by-step instructions on producing your own electricity, whether from water, wind, sun, or more. Thousands of satisfied customers have peace of mind knowing that they're prepared for blackout days. Thanks to this video. Stop and imagine yourself struggling to survive through an extended nationwide power outage, unaware of what to do next because you didn't learn the crucial steps to take. Try, review, and learn to protect against the dark age. Watch the free video by going to darkageprotection.com. Click that link down in my description. This is time sensitive, so be sure to check it out. With that being said, I'm going to bring on my guest, Marty from Arizona. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself? Good to see you again.
I am great. Yes. So we met by chance when I was covering a story in Arizona last year. You said, hey, I'm going down to the border, fairly often if you want to tag along and look at what we're capturing. Well, then today you sent me these images of some of the people that you have photographed getting apprehended by Border Patrol. I mean, you can see this guy right here is obviously not Mexican. Tell me what you learned from the sheriff and Border Patrol about these guys.
When I got down there, I was able to embed with Border Patrol and the sheriff. It was late one night, about 10 p.m. I was able to encounter 10 of these males coming across the border. What they did is they just come across the border and they give themselves up. There was a joint operation with the Border Patrol and the sheriff. Upon a closer visit with what was going on, the sheriff did let me know that these are Georgians that are right next to Russia. And then they were asked for passports, and they were able to show that they had Russian passports. There's about 10 of them, all military-age men, no females, no children. I mean, they were pretty sketchy looking. Probably.
Sorry, are you there? Sorry,
I'm here.
Okay, there you are. I was trying to play the video and listen to you, but apparently we can only do either or. So what were you saying?
So the illegal border crossers came across. They're apprehended. They're processed on the site, and the Border Patrol brought in all of their vans, and all of the illegal crossers were then put in the vans. And according to the sheriff and the Border Patrol, they got brought in that night to Yuma processing center. From there, they get fingerprinted, and then they get released into our country.
Wow. That's crazy. So how often, I mean, you head down there every few months, I believe. And where exactly do these people come from? You have details on how they kind of get to Mexico and then to the US.
So I met people from Haiti. I met Haitians. I met Cubans. I met Mexicans. I was able to interact very briefly with the Georgians or Russians, whichever they were. They come into Mexico right there, right across the border from the airport in Yuma, and the people that I saw come across had nice clothes on. They had brand new shoes on. The families that I did see didn't look like they just made a trek across Mexico. They're impeccably dressed, new shoes, no dust. They had backpacks, newer clothes. And what they do is they come into the airport there and then they get a cab or transportation to the border on that. They get dropped off probably 500 to 1,000 yards from the border, from the opening of the wall there in Los Abogados at the Las Morelos Dam in Yuma, because it's wide open.
So this is the far west corner of Arizona. It's at the corner of Mexico, Arizona, and California.
Correct. The river comes right through there, and so what they do is they will cross. There's an area where they can cross over a bridge that's wide open. It's been there probably 50 years. The dam is older. I think it was built in the 60s, or 50s, and so they come across the border. They come across the bridge, and then they enter the border, and then they just come in droves. I mean, they're coming all day long. They're starting early in the morning, and they come across. And I met Haitians, Cubans, Mexicans, other Europeans, the Russians / Georgians, not sure who they are. And they come into the staging area, and that's where they get they have the water stations and the porta potties there, and they get processed. Border Patrol, they're doing the best they can. I mean, they're pretty stressed out.
So if these are, I don't know, just innocent people looking for a better life, why are they military-aged men coming in the darkness of night? That's my question. And then, oops, they get caught by Border Patrol. And then, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for a better life. I just think this is strange. I want to play a couple of the clips that you have here.
So Border Patrol's picking them up. They got two Border Patrol vehicles here, and they have a sheriff back there. Again, the sheriff and the Border Patrol work very well down in this area together. So it's definitely a multi-organization group here working together. It's nice to see. So again, these are all...
I mean, no families, no kids, no wives that these men are trying to bring to a better life. Why'd you leave your wives behind if you're coming to America to seek a better life? But these men ditched their families in Eastern Europe and came to the U.S. I'm just wondering why. What are the intentions of all these people? We hope, if we are getting this massive influx year to date from Border Patrol numbers is over 2 million migrant encounters at the U.S. southern border just in the 2022 Border Patrol year, which Border Patrol has weird years that end in September. But anyway, over 2 million people. You hope, okay, if I'm getting 2 million fellow countrymen, I just hope that they're big patriots who are here because they just love what they see, what Americans stand for, and they want to be patriots like us. We hope that. But Are we being secretly invaded? That's what we don't know. Now, interestingly, Marty, the Guardian out of the UK is breaking it down just how many Russians are coming to the US. 8,000 right here. An article earlier this year from the Guardian. Quote, we had no choice. Over 8,000 Russians seek U.S. refuge in a 6-month period. And they have here, it says more than 8,600 Russians sought refuge on the U.S. border with Mexico from August through January of 2022, ending in January of 2022. 8,000. So even before the Russia-Ukraine war started, Russians were fleeing Russia like crazy coming to the U.S. Are they fleeing Putin's oppression and looking for liberty in America and wanting to be proud Americans? Or are they pro-Putin, invading America to take us over from within? That's my question. Guardian says that the number that just came in to the U.S. from Russia between August and January was 35 times the number during the same period the previous year. 35 times the number from the previous year. 9 in 10 used official border crossings in San Diego, California. So most people are going through San Diego, but you happen to uncover that they are coming straight through Arizona.
Yep.
Now,
And this was April, so we know, according to Border Patrol, in that particular crossing, just in April alone in Yuma, they guesstimate about 3,000 immigrants came through that opening. And remember, this is before Title II 42 was set to expire. So I'll be making another trip soon. But when I woke up on Friday morning, went back to that same location, there was probably 250 people waiting at the staging area. From, again, Hades, Cubans, Europeans, Mexicans. I counted about 250 people Friday morning that were just waiting to be put on buses, and I watched them get put on buses. They're not vetted. We don't know if they're vaxxed or not. And I can tell you, Border Patrol is frustrated. Sheriff is frustrated. Their radar was up when they were able to apprehend the 10 Georgians or Russians. The radar was up. It was very eerie, and these men didn't look happy to see me filming them. It was pretty sketchy. And we know when they come here, they're going to be put on state assistance potentially. They're getting set up for failure. Where are they going to go? Do they have family here? I don't know. Are they going to be living on the state's dole, or are they going to be on food stamps, on state aid? I mean, who's paying for it? I mean, us, obviously.
right. Yeah, I still want more answers on how the system works, because I took a couple trips to the border in the past year, and I documented how people would swim across the Rio Grande. Then they would get put on a white school buses that had been painted white. Yep. That are Border Patrol told me they contracted these white buses to move migrants. So they pile of migrants who had just crossed illegally onto a bus to a processing center, onto Catholic Charities. Yes. Catholic Charities puts plane tickets in a manila envelope, hands it to the illegal crosser. Illegal crosser gets in a taxi paid for by Catholic Charities, and you can look up online that Catholic Charities is funded by the Biden administration.
Absolutely.
And then the taxi takes the migrant to the airport. My sources from around America have been sending me photos of these migrants with their manila envelopes in airports all over America. Now, I met one of the migrants down there and said, "Hey, can I look at your envelope? Where are you going?" That one had he had a layover, I think, in Houston and then on to Maryland. And this is a man who doesn't speak English. I think this man was from Mexico or Guatemala. Why Maryland? How does this work? Border Patrol won't tell us. The rumor is, that they have other relatives there, and they can, seek asylum with that relative, or how is this happening?
Well, for the record, they have the same white buses in Yuma, and they pack them on there. They have vans as well, and then they'll take them in and drop them off, and they'll bring the buses back, and they'll fill them up again. So I saw it firsthand as well in Yuma.
And so it's like, okay, Fox News has been doing a great job covering the border, but they talk about Border Patrol as heroes. What I witnessed is Border Patrol participating in human trafficking and participating in violation of federal immigration laws, as far as I could tell. And they would not answer as to how this is not violating federal immigration laws.
I saw the same thing. I spent, many hours with them. They toured me around the area. And remember, your viewers are seeing immigrants that came across that were apprehended. When I was down there, I also was shown by Border Patrol migrants that were crossing that they couldn't apprehend. They were swimming up the river. Because remember, in Yuma, you have Arizona and Mexico and California all right there. So it's kind of confusing where they come across the border there in the water, and they come up and they escape. And
wow. It's DeSantis made a great point today.
And they're not getting caught.
DeSantis made a great point today about can you hear me? You're cutting in and out, but
yeah.
About the dangers for these migrants seeking a better life. I think, they're escaping poverty. A lot of people, you can't hear me? Okay, try reloading it. Okay, he can't hear me. The migrants are escaping poverty in their home country, but they don't realize they may be losing their lives in search of a little bit better economy in America, because these people, we've documented how their children end up drowning crossing the river, how people get raped and murdered on their way in, how they're piled like sardines into these trucks.
I'm gonna log out and log back in again.
Yeah. They're piled onto these trucks. The trucks crash, they die. So are the migrants even aware of what they're getting into when they come on in? Or are they getting these false advertisements of a beautiful life? But it is incredible to see what these people risk to come to America. And you just hope if we are going to be invaded and infiltrated, it better be with people who are desperate for a better life and excited to work hard in America. And a lot of those migrants are, but I'm really concerned about the other ones. And why do we have these single adult males piling into America in the darkness of night? And oops, they get caught. Hey, Marty, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting stuff. And when are you heading back down there, Marty?
Soon. It's been hot this summer, so it's cooling down a little bit. So we'll probably head down about a month. So love to have you join us.
Absolutely. And what is your organization called?
We're just a bunch of good citizens.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for showing me
Absolutely.
that footage.
Absolutely.
And
thanks for taking the time to show it to your viewers. I've tried to get the story out to some of the media outlets. You know them all, and they don't want to hear or see the facts or the reality. So thanks for carrying the torch for America.
Absolutely. Oh, but before we go, I was going to show this one graph officially from Border Patrol. This is cbp.gov, Southwest Land Border Encounters. So if you look at the fiscal year of 2022, which is in yellow here, you see it's more than 2 million who've crossed. The fiscal year is about to wrap up end of September. But we saw, I mean, this is the largest influx of migrants of all time. And these are just the encounters. Now, it's unclear when Border Patrol encounters people, how many they send back and how many they welcome in. Because when we were there, they were welcoming everybody in. They would give these people a towel to dry off after illegally going through the Rio Grande. And then they would put them on a warm van and take them further into the U.S. And like you said, Marty, both you and I witnessed it in Texas. You witnessed it in Arizona. There's a fleet of white buses that taxpayers are paying for to bring these people in.
That is correct.
And beyond that, the 2.1 million in fiscal year 2022 who've Border Patrol has encountered. Again, that's just the encounters. All those people who sneaked across, which I'm sure those Russians and Georgians, if they're showing up in the darkness of night without their families, they were probably hoping to sneak across. But they got caught. But who knows how many of those guys are sneaking across, not getting caught. We have no clue who is actually in our country. Now, they have an option here to unclick Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador. So if you exclude these Central American people from Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, you filter it that way, you can see, oops, it just reloaded. You can see just how many people from these foreign nations way outside of North America are coming through. And you see that fiscal year 2022, it was 900,000. It was almost 1 million people who came from nations outside of Central America. What nations are these people coming from? Well, it doesn't boil it down that much. But interestingly, this yellow line right here, which jumps up to almost 600,000 single adults. These are not families. The family units are these smaller numbers to the right. The number one group of people pouring into our nation from countries way outside of Central America are single adults. Almost 600,000 of them in this fiscal year alone. Why are they coming? I want to know, Marty. Maybe you can get to the bottom of it.
That would be nice. I'll work on it.
I'll go back down there with you.
Yeah, we'll have a good time.
All right. Well, everybody, got to check your comments before we wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can see you guys saying can't wait for Carrie Lake. I know she's a popular one down there, isn't she? She's been she said if she becomes governor, she's declaring an invasion right away.
We love Carrie. Carrie's awesome.
Border Patrol complicit in trafficking, says C. Hogg. That's what I took away from it. And I know that's part of why some of the Border Patrol agents are so frustrated, because they don't want to be traffickers. They do care about our national security, but they are getting a direct order from Alejandro Mayorkas under Biden to let these people and bring them on in, pile them into the buses.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Wow. Checking all your comments here. Yeah, cartels. You said you saw, you showed me a video of one cartel man. Tell me how you knew he was from a cartel.
Well, we believe he's Mexican mafia. He approached the border. I made contact with him. He I didn't bother him. He didn't care about me. He had a very large snake going from the top of his head all the way down his neck. And he was probably 22 to 25 years old, stocky guy, young. That's indicative for a snake like that to typically be Mexican mafia. And he used to had a shaved head, and I can see that he's trying to grow the hair back in over that snake tattoo to cover it up. But I saw it, and he was able to approach the Border Patrol, and Border Patrol spoke to him in Spanish and directed him to the staging point, where he then got on a bus and is living here in the United States.
What? We're bringing in the cartel. Dang. Well, thanks for keeping an eye on that, and we'll touch base soon. Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to you later.
Have a good one.
All right. You too. Stay
Bye.
safe. Bye.